The Pandora's box of playoff fun is now clearly flung wide open. Golf was only the first salvo. Tonight, the march to Missouri softball glory began in earnest with the early rounds of district play, and among the more intriguing sleepers in our area is a Clark County team that may not have a great pedigree coming into this season, but is suddenly a beguiling 15-game winner, taking on South Shelby today in the quarterfinals. And early on, Jessica Roberts was dealing against the Lady Birds in this one. Strikeout to end the first inning. Speaking of the first inning, South Shelby could not stop Clark's offensive barrage early. Kaylee Roberts flirts with a home run, ends up with a double. That would set the table for Hannah Trump. Great piece of hitting here to drive in a run at that point. Made it 1-0 Clark. Some defense, though, would help South Shelby, and it doesn't get much more spectacular or sensational seven-worthy than this. Tristan Charlton behind the plate. Great stab going into the wall. Good stuff for her. However, Clark County still had more runs in them. This is Jessica Roberts helping her own cause with an RBI smash. Later, a young lady who's a fantastic player, but I butcher her name every single night. Going to try to get it right tonight. Shaylee Klein with a 2 RBI hit to make it 4-0 at that point. Clark County wouldn't score again in this game. South Shelby made a run, but it would be Clark County hanging on to win tonight by the final count of 4-3. Up next for the Indians would be the winner of tonight's Mark Twain and Highland game. And in this ball game early on, that's Mackenzie Grossman, and she too was in command early on. Her offense came to life in the 4th inning in a big way. Already up 2-0. Chloe Majors jumps into the act with the RBI smash. Then it's Kylie Barnes doing some work right here. Effective use of the aluminum to score a run. Then Amanda Camden with a 2-run single. It was a 7-run frame at this point for Mark Twain. You know Mackenzie Grossman wouldn't need much more than that. Highland, though, to their credit, the Lady Cougars make a spirited effort. Ashlyn Lay with a nice piece of hitting here, just to no avail in this one as Highland goes down to defeat. Mark Twain ends their season, so it will be Mark Twain and Clark County coming up tomorrow night. On the other side of the bracket, it will be Palmyra taking on a team that won tonight, Monroe City. Arch rivals going out at 7-3 was your final in favor of the Panthers. Big school Hannibal's season is done in Class 4A. The Pirates lose and lose big tonight. We'll get more to them in a second. As you saw right there, also in Class 2A, Louisiana, a big winner tonight. Hannibal done losing to Holt. 12-1 was your final there. And in Class 1A, just one score called in so far from Knox County. It was Canton beating North Shelby 6-3. That means Canton takes on takes on Knox County coming up tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Well, for the ladies of the Lynx, Decatur is the promised land, and the first step in realizing state championship dreams is surviving the regional meat grinder. That mission was not a particularly easy one for Western Illinois' best small school golfers today, in facing a tough layout at Deer Run in Hamilton. Camp Point Central, your reigning West Central Conference champs, off to a good start in this one behind this young lady, Chloe Boone, with a tidy approach on number 1. She would finish in 12th place individually, helping her team to finish 2nd place overall and advance on to state. West Hancock also vying to get into the state mix. Carly Runge right here sinks the mid-distance putt. She finished 6th on the day. The Titans advancing as the number 3 team in the bracket. Your number 1 team also advancing to sectional. Quincy Notre Dame helps out with your number 3 player, plays as well as Katie Nieswinder did today. As on number 1 right here, she had a stellar day today, firing an 88 for 4th place individually. Weird start for Jamie Earhart after putting a ball out of bounds. She sinks this bogey putt right here for a hero's 5. Came back strong. Her recovery skills very good today. On hole number 2, again, it's Jamie with the recovery, this time nearly chipping in for the birdie. She'd end up saving par right here. Earhart on the day, pretty darn good with an 87. That helped her team as well. She would finish in a tie for 3rd place with Lauren Fry of West Central. Lucy Clark would be the hero for Quincy Notre Dame. More on her in a second, but your number 2 individual finisher today and one of the strongest players in the field, Southeastern's Dakota Limkeman. You're looking at her right here, saving par on number 2. She had an 85 on the day. Big story in the day for Q&D in advancing as a regional champion to sectionals was Lucy Clark. As I mentioned right here, she will set herself up nicely for a birdie and a 79. Only golfer in the field to break 80 today as Quincy Notre Dame rolls on big. Congratulations to the Lady Raiders, the Lady Panthers, and the Lady Titans today. Also at Macomb, for the first time in school history, Macomb is a regional champion, led by 2 outstanding individual scores today. Macomb gets great play across the board as well from great individuals in Allison Torrance, who was your medalist, and Haley Hadsall, who finished 3rd on the day. Quincy High School, their season comes to an end as they end up losing and finishing 8th in the 8-team Alton Regional. Also, some quick soccer for you tonight. Quincy Notre Dame hosting Jacksonville. The Raiders would score just once in the first half, but it would be enough to propel them today. It comes courtesy of a Taylor Reese penalty kick made it 1-0 at that point. Quincy Notre Dame goes on to beat Hannibal. Final count in this one was 2-1. Other scores quickly to pass along to you. Volleyball tonight, not many of them. Southeastern loses at home to West Prairie in straight games. College soccer, the Quincy University women tie Truman State. Also, the Hannibal LaGrange women and men swept today by Columbia College, 1-0 on the men's side, 3-0 on the women's side. And in volleyball tonight, it would be Culver Stockton knocking off Iowa Wesleyan in three straight games. Easy for me tonight to say, Stephen. So lots of playoff action, busy night, good stuff out there, lots of winners.